You are standing in the bustling marketplace of ancient Babylon, the year 1754 BC. A merchant offers you grains, but not by the pound, nor by the kilogram. Instead, he speaks of measures derived from the human body. From the length of a finger to the span of a man's arm, how could an entire civilization build cities, chart stars, and trade across continents using such seemingly imprecise units? For millennia, these organic, almost poetic measurements governed every aspect of human life, shaping empires and daily survival in ways you've never considered. Long before the metric system or even the standardized inch, humanity navigated a world measured by the hand, the foot, and the breath. These aren't just odd historical footnotes. They reveal a profound, embodied connection to the physical world, a way of seeing space and time that feels alien to us today. Could these ancient, seemingly whimsical units hold forgotten wisdom about how we perceive our reality? Imagine a world where your own body was the ultimate ruler, your very limbs the scales and measuring tapes of daily life. This was the fundamental reality for countless generations. The first of these deeply personal metrics is the cubits. Born in the cradle of civilization, the cubit emerged in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC. It was literally the length of a man's forearm, from the elbow to the tip of the middle finger. Why was this so practical? Because everyone had one, always at hand. But whose cubit? The pharaohs, of course, immortalized in the royal cubit, often a stone standard kept safe and distributed. Did you know the Great Pyramid of Giza was built with a precision that still astounds engineers, all measured out in cubits? Ancient historian Herodotus chronicled the immense scale of these structures, all guided by this fundamental unit. Next, consider the just fathoms. Picture yourself on the deck of an ancient Phoenician trading ship sailing across the Mediterranean. You need to know the depth of the water beneath your hull. How would you measure it without sonar? You would drop a lead line. The fathom is the length of a man's outstretched arms, roughly 6 feet, or 8 meters. It's an incredibly intuitive way to gauge depth when you're literally reaching into the unknown. This unit, still used today in nautical contexts, speaks to humanity's ancient struggle against the vastness of the ocean. How many brave sailors were saved by understanding the precise fathom beneath their vessel? From the sea to the land, our third measurement is the feshond. This unit, approximately 4 inches or 10 centimeters, is famously still used today to measure the height of horses, but its origins stretch back to ancient Egypt and beyond, where its convenience for small distances made it invaluable. Imagine the early horse breeders trying to classify their steeds. A hand was an easy, consistent way to compare animals without complex tools. It's a testament to its enduring practicality that the hand remains a standard in the equestrian world millennia later. Our ancestors also walked their world into being, giving us the pace. A pace in ancient Rome was a single step, while a double pace stellar, or passus, was the distance from the heel of one foot to the heel of the same foot when it next touched the ground, approximately 5 Roman feet. The Roman legions, master builders of roads and empires, famously used the double pace to measure distances. They would mark roads with milestones indicating how many thousands of passus had been covered. Could you imagine marching an entire empire into existence, one double pace at a time? Moving into the medieval era, we encounter the humble barleycorn. This unit, roughly 1/3 of an inch, represents the smallest legal length in medieval England. Specifically, 3 barleycorns laid end to end made an inch. Why barleycorns? Because they were consistent, readily available, and a natural organic ruler for common folk. Imagine a medieval shoemaker meticulously crafting boots. He might use barleycorns to ensure consistent sizing for his clients. It speaks to a time when natural objects provided the bedrock for everyday measurements. As societies grew, land measurement became crucial, leading to this rod pole or perch. These are all names for the same unit, approximately 5 feet or 3 meters. It originated from the length of a traditional ox goad, a stick used to prod oxen while plowing. Farmers in medieval England used this pole to mark out their fields for planting, for taxes, and for inheritance. This unit highlights the agrarian roots of many ancient measurement systems. How many family disputes were settled by the precise length of a plowman's rod? Venturing further afield, we discover the league. This was not a fixed unit, but a measure of distance a person or horse could walk in an hour, roughly 3 miles or 8 kilometers. The Roman league, for instance, varied greatly depending on the terrain and the person traveling. This fluid nature reveals a fundamental difference in ancient perception. Distance wasn't just a number, it was an experience, a journey. The famous Jules Verne novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea uses this very unit, evoking epic journeys and vast distances. Next, we look at the stone. Today, if you're in the UK or Ireland, you might weigh yourself in stones. 1 stone equals 14 pounds. This measurement has deep roots in medieval trade, where commodities like wool, cheese, and meat were sold by the stone. Its origin likely comes from merchants using actual stones of a known weight as counterbalances on their scales. This practical, albeit variable, unit reveals how crucial commodity exchange was in shaping ancient economies. Did every village market have its own standard stone? Time itself was once measured in profoundly different ways. Consider the vase moment. In medieval times, a moment was not just a very short time, but an actual, if short, unit 1/40th of an hour or 90 seconds, originating from astronomical calculations in the 13th century. It was the shortest unit of time measurable by a sundial's shadow. Imagine the monastic life, meticulously regulated by the ringing of bells and the shifting of light. Every activity was precisely, if briefly, segmented into these moments. How much human experience could fit into a single moment? Before standardized rulers, humans relied on their hands for even smaller divisions of length. Our 10th measurement bundle includes the finger, palm, and span. A finger was the width of an index finger, a palm the width of 4 fingers, and a span the distance from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the little finger when the hand is fully extended. These were likely among the very first measurements ever used by early humans. Think of the earliest cave artists at sites like Cubit Cave, using these exact hand-based units to estimate space and proportion for their magnificent drawings. These intimate units reflect humanity's earliest attempts to quantify the world around them. Light, too, had its own peculiar ancient measures. The precursor to modern light units was Candlepower. While the modern candela is a highly precise scientific unit, its historical predecessor was literally defined by the light emitted from a standard candle. Before electricity, light was precious and limited. Imagine trying to illuminate a Roman villa or a medieval manuscript. The concept of how much candle power was needed to read or work was a very real, tangible calculation. It wasn't just about brightness, it was about survival in the dark hours. Finally, we journey to ancient Greece for the Stadion. This unit was the length of a typical ancient Greek running track, approximately 600 Greek feet or 185 meters. The Olympic Games, which began in 776 BC, featured races of precisely one stadion. This unit wasn't just for athletics, it became a common measurement for larger distances, especially in maps and travel descriptions. The ancient geographer Strabo, for example, often cited distances in stadia. The very architecture of their public life, from athletic competitions to urban planning, was intrinsically linked to this single, iconic measurement. These 12 peculiar measurements, born from human bodies, natural phenomena, and the rhythms of ancient life, offer a window into forgotten worlds. They were not arbitrary but profoundly practical, allowing our ancestors to build pyramids, chart seas, trade goods, and organize their societies with remarkable precision for millennia. The Roman architect Vitruvius, in his De Architectura, extensively discussed the human body as the source of ideal proportions and measures, underpinning much of ancient design. Today, we live in a world obsessed with standardization, from the millimeter to the kilogram, all globally uniform. Yet, these ancient units remind us that measurement was once deeply embodied, contextual, and often incredibly ingenious. They speak of a time when the world was less abstracted, more directly experienced through the senses and the physical self. The next time you measure something, pause to remember these echoes of ancient ingenuity. You might just find a renewed appreciation for the incredible, often weird, ways your ancestors once measured their world, shaping the very foundations of civilization in the process.